Michel Barnier has written to opposition parties informing them that the EU is open to delaying the Brexit transition period by 2 years. The EU's chief Brexit negotiator Michel Barnier has penned a letter to opposition parties explaining the bloc is open to delaying the transition period by 2 years. The UK has until the start of July to request an extension to the Brexit transition period, which currently comes to an end on December 31, 2020. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has repeatedly ruled out extending the transition period. As Brexit trade talks continue via video next week, Mr Barnier wrote to the Westminster leaders of the SNP, Liberal Democrats, Plaid Cymru, SDLP, Green Party and Alliance Party, and said the option of an extension to the transition period is available if the UK wants it. These party leaders had previously written to Mr Barnier on May 15 calling for a 2-year extension to be agreed between the UK and EU. Mr Barnier wrote in his letter, "I remain keen on and interested in hearing the views of the British political parties and stakeholders in order to appreciate all dimensions of the national debate. The European Union remains determined to build a new and ambitious partnership with the United Kingdom in the short time that is available, given your government's repeated statements that it will not agree to an extension of the transition period. I take note on your views of a possible extension to the transition period. Such an extension of up to 1 or 2 years can be agreed jointly by the two parties. The European Union has always said that we remain open on this matter. But, Mr Barnier notes the decision must be taken by the Joint Committee before the 1st of July, and must be accompanied by an agreement on a financial contribution by the UK. He adds, regardless of the extension issue, please rest assured that the EU side will continue to do its utmost to reach an ambitious and balanced partnership agreement with the UK. Any extension has to be taken by the Joint Committee before the 1st of July, and must be accompanied by an agreement on a financial contribution by the United Kingdom. Mr Barnier also insists in the letter the EU will continue to reach a trade deal that is beneficial for both sides. The EU's chief Brexit negotiator concludes, regardless of the extension issue, please rest assured that the EU side will continue to do its utmost to reach an ambitious and balanced partnership agreement with the United Kingdom. The SNP's Westminster leader Mr Blackford welcomed the letter and called on Boris Johnson to accept the offer of a 2-year extension to the transition period. He said, Boris Johnson must finally put his responsibilities to jobs, living standards and the economy first, and urgently agree the 2-year extension on offer to the transition period. It would be madness to pile a Brexit crisis on top of the coronavirus crisis we already face, with unemployment soaring, businesses shedding jobs, and many struggling to survive. Time is running out. There is just a month left to agree an extension to prevent the UK crashing out with a devastating bad deal or a catastrophic no deal. If the Prime Minister fails to agree an extension, he will be responsible for every job lost, every income slashed, and every business that goes under as a result of his bad Brexit deal. The SNP will continue to press for a long extension to protect Scotland's economy, but the only way to guarantee Scotland's interests and protect our place at the heart of Europe is to become an independent country. Liberal Democrat leadership candidate Layla Moran urged Mr Johnson to put his pride aside and agree to an extension of the transition period. She said, the transition period was designed to give us time to secure a trade deal and make preparations for it to come into effect. That time has already, and understandably, been decimated by the coronavirus response. This makes a dangerous no-deal Brexit more likely at the end of the year, unless we extend the transition period. I am urging the Prime Minister to put his pride aside, tackle the crisis in front of him and take the extension HES being offered, but Mr Frost has insisted to MPs the UK will not be extending the Brexit transition period beyond the end of this year. Speaking before a Commons committee on the future relationship with the EU following recent negotiations, he said, that is the firm policy of the government that we will not extend transition period, and if asked we would not agree to it, he said. And I take that as a given. I think we have always put a lot of emphasis on economic and political freedom at the end of this year and on avoiding ongoing significant payments into the EU budget. And, of course, those things are accomplished by ending the transition period at the end of the year. The UK and EU began trade talks in March, with Britain's chief negotiator David Frost taking a team to Brussels to meet one led by Brussels counterpart Mr. Barnier. But already both sides have traded vicious insults over each other's respective negotiating stances in talks, with huge cracks widening from bitter disagreements over a number of crucial demands being made in the post-Brexit agreement. Following the conclusion of the latest round of virtual talks earlier this month, Mr. Frost warned the EU would have to dramatically relent in a number of areas before the next set of negotiations begin on Monday. Mr. Johnson is insisting a post-Brexit trade deal with the EU must be signed before the end of the transition period on December 31, and is refusing requests to extend this deadline to allow more time to get one agreed, a move that has left leading EU figures furious. Prior to the start of the first negotiations with Brussels in March, he also warned the UK would walk away from the negotiating table if sufficient progress had not been made by next month.